You know, there's been a lot of talk lately about fake news versus real news and how you, the viewer, can spot the difference. I know it's not always easy, and hell, we've been accused here at Infowars from time to time spreading fake news, usually by the establishment media who would prefer that you watch them instead. But I was thinking we could give you some guidelines this evening on how to tell the difference between real and fake news. And it's probably a good idea that you share this information with your family and friends so they too can filter out the bullshit. Now, let's get started, shall we? The first thing you want to do when you're looking for fake news, numeral uno, consider the source. If you're on social media and you're about to click on that share button, be sure to check out the website. Look at the URL and the domain name first. For example, you might think you are reading an article, let's say, from the BBC. But in reality, you are reading an article from an imposter website, someone who imitates the BBC. All you have to do to tell the difference is simply look at the URL address. If it says bbc.com, well, it's legit. But if it says something like bbc.com.co, well, it's probably a bogus website with false information. You see, a lot of these phony websites, they look like traditional establishment mainstream media websites, but they're not. They're total frauds, and there's a lot of them out there, too, who are pretending to be someone they are not. Like these guys who want you to believe they are the official ABC News website. I mean, it says it right there on their homepage, ABC News. Sure looks and feels like the real thing, but guess what? It's not. They are imposters. Again, check out the URL, abcnews.com.co. They are mimicking ABC, but it's not the real thing. And you know what? It happens to us, too. I mean, there's a lot of fake Alex Jones and Infowars Facebook pages out there and websites who try to imitate us or make us look crazy. But you can always tell if it's someone's official Facebook page by that blue check mark right there. You see that? That means it's official. And it's the same for YouTube. They will have a check mark so you'll know it's an official YouTube channel. Now, I want to let you in on a little secret, and this might come as a shock to some of you, but guess where a lot of these phony, fake websites come from to begin with? Are you ready? They come from the establishment mainstream news media, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. Recently, 20th Century Fox got busted creating fake news websites, complete with made-up stories that were spread online and shared by millions of people on Facebook who had no idea they were reading and spreading fake news. An article by the New York Times reveals that 20th Century Fox created fake news websites that looked like the real deal. They created names like the Houston Leader and the Salt Lake City Guardian and populated them with bogus headlines and fictitious stories about everything from Lady Gaga to President Donald Trump and vaccinations. Here's one that says Trump orders the CDC to remove all vaccination-related information from the White House website by the Salt Lake City Guardian, a news organization that doesn't even exist. It's a fabricated lie, brought to you by 20th Century Fox. But wait, there's more. These are all fake news websites produced by the mainstream news media. Websites like Salt Lake City Guardian, the Houston Leader, Sacramento Dispatch, New York Morning Post, and the Indianapolis Gazette. And check out some of these headlines. Bombshell, Trump and Putin spotted at Swiss resort prior to election, from the Sacramento Dispatch. Again, a news organization that does not exist. Here's another one. Trump refuses to provide California federal support in midst of natural ... clickbait to fake news. Now, another guideline you could use to tell the difference between real and fake news is check out the news sources. Do they provide links to trustworthy news outlets who collaborate the information. A news article with multiple sources, that is a good thing. And I always like to look and see if they have a comment section, because if they don't provide comments, that usually means they are hiding something. And if you'll notice, traditional mainstream news websites, most of them do not include a comment section anymore. And that's because informed and knowledgeable citizens are able to call out their BS and debunk their propaganda. So, and they do it right there in the comment section. So the MSM had to put they had to put a stop to that. You hardly see any comment sections anymore on traditional mainstream news media websites, because they are the ones who are spreading fake news. So there's some basic guidelines to filter out the BS when you come across a news story. And if you really want to dig deep down the rabbit hole, I suggest you look into the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays. Check out Aldous Huxley and Operation Mockingbird. You'll see just how deep the rabbit hole goes. And if you want to see someone who's always been pretty good at sniffing out and calling out the mainstream media's BS, well, you have to look no further than the anti-establishment president of the United States.
I've been hearing more and more about a thing called fake news, and they're talking about people that go and say all sorts of things. But I will tell you, some of the media outlets that I deal with are fake news, more so than anybody. I could name them, but I won't bother. But you have a few sitting right in front of us. So they're very, very dishonest people. But I think it's just something we're going to have to live with. I guess the advantage I have is that I can speak back. When it happens to somebody that doesn't have that kind of a megaphone, they can't speak back. It's a very sad thing. I've seen people destroyed. I've seen people absolutely destroyed. And I think it's very unfair. So all I can ask for is honest reporters. Information that was false and fake and never happened got released to the public. As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage, writing it, I think they're going to suffer the consequences. They already are.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization.
Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically?
She's asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Round 2. Fight.
Go ahead.
Just one more follow-up.
Should I let him have a little bit more? What do you think, Peter? Peter, should I let him have a little bit more? Sit down. Sit down.
Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine?
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you?
Flawless victory.
I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people. Because they have no sources. They just make them up when there are none. You know, the dishonest media, they'll say, he didn't get a standing ovation. You know why? No, you know why? Because everybody stood and nobody sat. So they will say he never got a standing ovation, right? That's the way they are. They are the worst. Donald Trump did not get a standing ovation. They leave out the part, they never sat down. They leave that out. They're very dishonest people. In fact, in covering my comments, the dishonest media did not explain that I called the fake news the enemy of the people, the fake news. They dropped off the word fake. And all of a sudden, the story became the media is the enemy. They take the word fake out. And now I'm saying, oh, no, this is no good. But that's the way they are. So I'm not against the media. I'm not against the press. I don't mind bad stories if I deserve them. And I tell you, I love good stories, but we won't go. I don't get too many of them. But I am only against the fake news media or press. Fake. They have to leave that word.